What's good? Ooh, what do you mean? Uh, all right. Still deciding if I should paint it black or paint it the original color or keep it fully black because this is going to be the original color. I see the thing about the Dreamlifter is that it's both white, yet also it's so it'd be like a bright color, but yet it's also not bright. It's like, yeah, let me just like lower this just a little bit and see if, yeah, no, that's still pretty. No, wait, that might be good. Okay, yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna keep it black though for now, because it's much easier to do while building. Now for the hardest part. I really do not like the tail. Like, this is... I already know it's gonna be really annoying. If I just, like, not... Pretty sure it's different, though, so... Hmm. Yeah, this is my private server. I've tried posting the link before to get other people to be able to join, but it's just, like, never seemed to work. Like, every time I've tried it myself, it just doesn't seem to work, and it's more of a hassle than it's worth. But if I could get it to work, I would 100% post the link. I would I would play in like a public server, but I don't know. Yeah, I might just join a public server. Loading it doesn't take that long. Hmm. Alright, so how the tail works is like really weird. So it curves down like this, smoother descent, then flat, and then just like the little nose tip here. For this part here, I'm probably just gonna like make a circle. But it's different proportionally, but that's normal. Yeah, one of the reasons I don't go into public servers is because there are risks of build stealers. That's why Denius doesn't go into public servers either, really. Well, at least when he did when we were building the F-15, because that was just way too good to be stolen. Didn't want to risk it, which really don't blame him, because I'd do the same. But it's also mostly just because it's faster load in private servers. Like, this is, as of now, it's 2,000 blocks. Separate blocks. This is loads in it was one, and this is the majority of all the blocks here besides the actual build. But yeah, it does take a while to load. The whole reason I'm making this out of plastic too is because if I made this out of metal, one, I have 11,000 plastic, and now I'm only at 8,000, which, honestly, for this whole thing, I really could have built it out of metal. Yeah, I would have had enough blocks. But still, the other reason is because the flight mechanic that I use, which is just the lava flows private jet tutorial mechanic, works really well. Flies much better than any normal just jet and seat will. It it has like a weight requirement because the jets are at like orange throttle, meaning that they aren't as strong as just a normal jet will, and that means I have to have it on light blocks. I'm so surprised how 257, which is one of my older builds, made entirely out of metal, and it still somehow manages to use the mechanic, and very well, I must say. But a while ago, I made this KC-135 that I'm pretty sure I've saved over. Nope, still have it saved. But it's entirely made out of metal, and it's like big. It's like, I want to say about the same size, but yeah. Yeah, that F-15 apparently was yours. I remember that. I apologize too, so don't be bringing that up. Also, I didn't say it was copied. I said it was like the F-15 we had, because it's an F-15. The difference between some people's builds, like if some guy like built this entirely original idea, like I don't really have any original builds. They're all just things. Like if somebody I made this like one thing like it's completely original, hasn't been used on anything else before, and some guy has it, then obviously it's been copied because no idea has been come up with that. But something like an F-15 or like something that's can't really make it originally unless you like give it like a specific camo, I guess, or some other factor, stuff like that. It's hard to tell if something's entirely based off of it or if it's just an F-15 because I like that F-111 I have, it's specifically I've seen like three versions. I've seen the F-111A, F-111F, and F-111G. Those all have different like camos. The one I have is F-111F. This one I have saved as the F-111G. Jeez, it was originally the F-111A. Yeah, I forgot the whole point of what I was saying. Oh, whole point of what I was saying was you doing the specific version of that specific camouflage is dependent on the specific actual plane version. So it'll always look different, but still. Yeah, I still, I don't know. I don't know what to do for this stream. I kind of just didn't know what to do, so I decided to stream. But this part is the part that I'm going to hate the most because the nose, okay, I can see this part actually was, if I'm being 100% honest, this was probably the easiest part because it was really just doing circles and rotating it. The shaping, really hard. That's why it's not 100% smooth. And this, I don't even know what happened here. So this is different from this side. I kind of smoothened it a little bit from here versus this side, but I haven't copied it over just because when I did that, I completely forgot about it and just didn't remember that I had done that, and it made it like not work. But it's relatively smooth for just trying it. This is the whole reason I got inspiration for this was entirely from Laim video. I believe it's Laim. I don't remember. But yeah, it's Laim. And he made a C5 Galaxy with like basically the same way that I'm building it, where built the outline, built the nose, built everything else, worked on the body. Apparently what he did was the tail was the last step. I'm not doing that. I'm doing the tail like here. Because visioning the entire plane is so much easier than building the front half and then just stopping. Because then you'll just get lazy. And then like if you put a good amount of effort into the wings, then it'll like not make it feel so rushed. But then eventually you'll just get tired of building it, and then all you'll have is like the whole back is missing. And it's very vital, especially this plane, because this one is entirely built by, or entirely open with cargo doors by rotating the tail open. So I kind of am forced to build this tail. I'm not saying, oh, I hate building this. I mean, some parts it can get really annoying and frustrating. Like, the nose was frustrating. The original nose was very ugly because it wasn't, smooth. It was like how this is, where it's pieces rotated, parts like that, where this is technically, if you think about it, this is technically my first big smooth plane. First time I actually tried building smooth. Like, the very first try was this weird 737 that I haven't looked at for a while, so I need to see what this looks like real quick. Yeah, so, it's not the worst for, like, the first of my smooth commercial or cargo or anything. Because I had built a C-130 that wasn't smooth at all. I originally was just, whenever I was building these, I built them, like, what's the word? I made them blocky because I didn't think I was able to do it any other way. And so I built them like this, and I started, this was the first one. I was like, I mean, this isn't the worst. This is definitely good. It's better than my first attempt at making anything like commercial. First attempt was a it was a A320 that I saved over because it was bad. This is also the first time that I added the mechanic of the the jets rotated down, and I was able to like quote unquote butter it. It just gave it like a smooth descent. After that, I built the T-154M ON specifically. This one. Then I copied it, and because I just felt like I copied it and made the IL-62. I just copied it and changed some things. But this had been my best commercial, technically not commercial, for a while. So, yeah. This was definitely not the worst, honestly. For my second time trying it, this is really not that bad. Like, this is my second time building a tank, like, actually, when I would consider myself in the stages of being good. My second time building my tank was when that's when I made the M1 Abrams, which is what I would say now as one of my best tanks. My original one was some weird T90 that didn't work. Like, it was broken, it didn't look good. So all I had was, I deleted it, saved over it, and did the Abrams, which right now is definitely one of my laggier builds. The tracks alone were like 3,000 blocks, and that put me on a tight budget. Definitely small scale. And one Abrams is like at least half, like take half of this and double that and add it onto it. It's at least that much bigger. But honestly, this is really not that bad for my first few tanks. I would say I'm better at making jets than tanks, personally, but that's my opinion. So like, this is one of my tanks. Honestly, it's not the worst if I'm being honest. I mean, I could improve the shaping on this. I didn't make the turret asymmetrical like it actually is in real life, but I also forgot that. So if we're comparing that with a jet that was also generally at that time, we'd be comparing it with, I'm gonna think, it would be the F-100, which is not done. Haven't built the wings on it yet. I basically abandoned this, but this is one of my tries at this jet. I knew I had already made it too small when I started building it, but this really isn't that bad for, like, not even finishing it. I don't like the wing, but I can't do much about that. Yeah, I might finish this later. This is probably just gonna be ones that stays there until some random day I'm just get bored and I was like, what if I just like rebuilt this old plane? Or I'll save over it. I really don't want to save over it though, because it did take me a while for that small amount of progress. But back to working on the Dreamlifter, because that's literally the name of the stream. It's supposed to be what I'm doing. That is not supposed to be going up like that. Yeah, that works. Yeah, this is going very well, I must say. So glad they added the mirror tool. Like, in that one update where they added all the things like the rope and suspension, that update alone probably made the game's possibility for general, like, engineering. That update alone probably made it, like, possibilities, like, 1,000 times better. Mirroring is good for just general perfection, because, like, I would not be able to build this if there was mirroring. I mirrored this entire thing. I didn't build this. I built this, mirrored it, and that's I'm only building this half. But, yeah. For mechanics wise, I don't build mechanics because I'm not good at it. Something that I used to do was just build mechanics. Then I started like trying to actually build. It's also around the same time where I got more interested in like planes and things. So that's when I decided, hey, what if I started making planes? And the first jet, not the first jet, the oldest jet that I have currently is my F-22. That's the oldest build, I believe, that I have. Actually, that might be a lie. I think the oldest build I have is from a while ago, from one of my friends that built me a set of working tracks for tanks. Because I wanted them, and I really didn't know how to do them. And apparently he had just learned, and he was like, do you want me to build you a set of tracks? And I was like, sure. And I still have them, and they're from a while ago. Well, and the reason I haven't gotten newer ones is because I've tried. I wanted to make working tracks on the Mark IV, but then that Mark IV, the build, like the specific tutorial I followed, the first step that was said was first take your tank wheels. If you know anything about the Mark IV, you would know that Mark IV doesn't have wheels. It's all one big thing. And nothing I can do about that. So I just had to not use working tracks. And I actually tried making my own tracks without wheels. And they don't work. I mean, they look like they would work, but they don't. I'll show those in a second. This part's getting annoying. Yeah, I would say that travel and scale are some of the best helpful tools in terms of doing things like just general building. Without those, you really can't build because, honestly, people have tried it before. It's not impossible. But, like, if you think about going and, like, trying to build something, like, something actually good without using either of these tools, then it just doesn't work. But maybe someday I'll try building something relatively easy with no travel or scale tool. As I mean, people have done it before, like popular YouTubers and just general people said, hey, I feel bored. What if I just built without gel or build or scale tool or anything like that? I feel like for mechanics wise, paint tool is good. I mean, it's not made for mechanics, but it's helpful for distinguishing things. I'm not making the balloon. I might, after this is one of my favorite Boeing planes, or just planes in general. If I had to get like a set, I had to say, favorite one of these types of planes, favorite bomber, it would have to be F-111, obviously, because I built it. Favorite jet, I still don't like my favorite fighter. I still don't know what my favorite fighter is. I haven't really set up a favorite fighter because there's so many options. F-15 and F-14 are up there. I really like them, but I mean, they're very basic. I want to see if there's anything more. F-100 I like. Main reason I decided to build it that one time, or at least tried starting to build it, was because of my grandpa that had worked with the F-100s. Didn't fly them, but like loaded them with bombs and things, which I find very cool. So I was like, hey, what if I made the F-100? That would be pretty cool. So I started on it, got motivated, stopped getting motivated, started building something else, and then it just kind of stopped. So, yeah. Okay, what do I do here? See, this is how I get confused. The tail is 100% the hardest part. How the hell? I don't know how I'm just gonna do this. Okay, well first I'm gonna take this, line it up. By the way, the reason that I do this is two reasons. One, it is good for like perfect corners because it makes the center rotation be directly on that block point instead of just like generally rotating it. And two is just because it's a little easier to see how you're doing things. Like if you see right now, if I started rotating this, it would be elevated very slightly off of the part that I'm trying to rotate it to match to. But right now, it will eventually, like that, just lock into place. Now how I'm gonna be able to smoothen this out to that, I don't know. If I just like do that for now. What I found really easy is to just take it and then kind of just match it up. And then when I'm done with that, I kind of basically how I make everything, like this part right here, I took it and I said, I need to smooth this out, but then I also need to, like right here, I had to put this here to cover this up or it just didn't look good. But yeah. Okay, let me actually show you what I mean. So like I do this, and then to smooth it out, all I do is I take this, then I rotate it in, so it's clipped in, but then it's smoothed. I usually don't do that this sharp of an angle though, because that just completely ruins it. That might be good enough. Yeah, this is very hard. Whoa. See, like right now, I have no idea what I'm really doing. Dang, that was really loud. There we go. I wanted to get some music set up because it was too quiet. I'll be right back.